Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today after that season finale for The Walking Dead Season 8. In this one, we'll be going over a list, my personal list, for what I want to see from The Walking Dead in Season 9. And spoiler warning, as per usual, if you guys are not caught up for The Walking Dead, which is up to the Season 8 finale. So I decided that we go ahead and do this video. Going to have lots more videos coming for you guys for Walking Dead. Of course, we got lots of time for the lead up here for Season 9 for the show to return. But also going to be doing lots of Fear videos coming up pretty soon. It's just because I think that the season for The Walking Dead just ended. And, the finale episode had a lot of things in it. And there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be changing for Season 9. So really just kind of want to do quite a few videos for that at this time, but we'll be doing more stuff for Fear as Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 is just getting going, and of course we'll be covering that until the first half ends, which is in the, I believe it's like June 10th, I think I saw, and then that will be the last episode for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4's first half. Then they'll probably do their break, and they'll probably come back in around, August or something like that for Fear. But for the original series, for the original Walking Dead series, what we want to see in Season 9, so how we want the series to be different, what we're looking to see from the season. This is my list, and you guys can certainly write down, and I want you to do so in the comments below, what you want to see from the next season of The Walking Dead, what you're expecting, just what you think for The Walking Dead Season 9, and how you see this thing playing out, how you see this going, what they should be working towards with the series at this point in time for the next year, next season. So number one, I think it kind of goes without saying, but a very different Walking Dead, so a much different Walking Dead from what we've been accustomed to and what we're used to. Now, that said, it's still The Walking Dead, so you're still going to have, of course, it's going to be in the same genre, really. But a little bit different. So as you go through the Walking Dead television series, each season has its own kind of theme. It has its own feel. Sometimes you have half seasons, which are quite a bit different. I'm talking The Walking Dead Season 5, where the first half they're in one location, the second half they're in a totally different location, and the feel of the series is quite a bit different. Of course, there's drama in a lot of it. You get the drama mixed in, you get the horror, and recently with The Walking Dead Season 8, we saw tons of action. If you look at The Walking Dead Season 8 as a whole, it's an action season, really, when you look at it. Start to finish, nice, right? It's an action season, is what it is. If you look at The Walking Dead Season 6, for at least the first half, it kind of has a monster movie type of feel with the amount of zombies coming through with the huge herd. Season 5 has got a pretty good mix there. Earlier seasons as well, too. Very survival horror oriented, right? With really focusing on the horror of the zombie apocalypse and the group just really trying to survive. Certain people being able to survive, others not. And the group kind of continuing on with whoever's kind of left standing at the end. So for this season coming up, for Season 9, it has to be so much different. I mean, it's going to be a lot different from Season 8. Season 8 is different from most seasons prior anyway. It's got its own feel with all the action and the back and forth fighting between the bigger groups, and not so much of an emphasis on the zombies and on the character relationships as much as you see in earlier seasons, right? Except for the Tobin. The Tobin episode has a pretty good concentration on the zombies. But aside from that one, there's not a whole lot there. So, much different. It's got to look different. Even the character designs have to be a lot different. I'm a big fan of the time skip. I hope they'll go through with a time skip here at some point. Alexandria should look different. They're going to have to kind of refresh it and just mix it up. If you look at the difference between Season 3 of The Walking Dead and Season 4, the way we come back in Season 4 and you see the prison looking different. You see the Morgan, clear-inspired kind of spike traps that are out there for the zombies, the fence, and just the whole thing being built up in a different way. And you get the kind of 30 days without an accident. You get the big spot and the stuff that happens there. But just a very, very different looking Walking Dead. Characters looking different, environments looking different, and the story being a lot different as well too. There's no war at this time. The Walking Dead Season 8's war is over. The Walking Dead Season 9 will go through, and we'll kind of get back to maybe that Season 4 type of feel, where you have kind of the group surviving. You have everybody kind of catching up the audience, I guess, after the time skip. Characters interacting. maybe see Maggie interact with Rick and have some tension building there, or some things happening there. Just a very different look for the series. It should look different. All the character designs different. Rick obviously should look like the flash forward sequence of Rick, or at least somewhat. Like I always found that Rick to look a little goofy, so maybe not exactly like that, but something close to that. Daryl should look different. Just everybody all around should be much different, and the feel of the show should be quite a bit different after the war being over, and also Carl being done now, because Carl's time in the series is over. So that kind of ends that character arc from the beginning of the series to there for Rick, and just everything totally different from the feel that we've seen in season 8 just recently. Number 2 is something different for Daryl, and not just maybe a different look for him, but they got to do something with the character. I mean, it's been so many years, and I don't mean just kill him off. I don't think that's the right answer, because I think fans would be outraged, and it probably wouldn't be good. But just do something different for him. If you start up a relationship with Rosita, because they may have been kind of setting that up. If you notice a lot of the episodes, like the Eugene episode from the back half of season 8 where they go after him, they're kind of together and they're kind of in the field together. So you could do a relationship with those two if you want to. You just got to change something up with Daryl there. If he's going to be affiliated and stay at the Hilltop, fine. If he's not going back to Alexandria, that's fine. But we just need to see something different from him to set apart those first 8 seasons from season 9 and onward, if he's going to continue to be a long-term survivor. Even his attire, I don't know if you have to get rid of the crossbow. I think that's a staple of the character, so you kind of need that. But you just, the look, maybe cut the hair, just something, and I know people are like, no, don't cut the Daryl hair, but don't cut the Daryl hair, but you kind of have to, I think, at this point, because you're not going to kill him, right? So you got to do something with him. So maybe a relationship is the best bet, and a change in attire or something. So they got to do something, man. It's what it is. Shower and the whole bit. Number 3 is going to be horror-based villains again. So in terms of our villains, what we've seen recently from Negan. Negan is an interesting villain in The Walking Dead in that he comes in at the end of season 9 totally horror, right? He comes in, he bashes dude's brains in, he's got Lucille, this crazy bat, and then he kind of morphs as it goes through, intentionally. This was intentional based on the comic series version, to kind of be more of a goofy, so he can be intimidating, he can be serious, but then at the same time, and you can be, terrified, he can be terrifying, and at the same time, he can also be kind of goofy and have the goofy side to him as well, which I feel like after the first little bit in season 7, he started to kind of morph more towards the goofy feel. Simon got more of kind of the hardcore governor type feel, and Negan kind of got overshadowed in a little way, I think, by Simon in that season. So, you want to... I feel like The Walking Dead, Negan is incredible, and he's a really fun character. He's one of the best characters in the whole series, so this is not beating up on Negan, but to see a villain again, like maybe the governor or somebody like that, that's going to bring the intensity, that's going to bring that horror aspect back. The brutality, I think, has to come back. I think if you look at the ratings after season 7 premiere, and once they started bringing the brutality down after that, I don't think it helped anything. I think it made things even worse. And I feel like you need to have that in there, especially for the Whisperers. If you're looking at the Whisperer story arc here, there is a lot of brutality included with the Whisperers. I mean, even their whole gimmick and everything, the way they wear the zombie skins and everything, it's gross. They're a horror-based group, and I think they work as some of the best villains The Walking Dead has ever had. Right up there with Negan and Terminus, the Hunters, and of course the Governor as well too. As a very scary, intimidating group that's very very brutal, right? So it's something that, something to fear as well, just a very brutal group. So they have to, I think, introduce them in such a way that is terrifying for the audience. I mean, I remember in season 3, if you guys remember, even Andrew, who was like the little guy, right? Like Andrew, this little guy who caused all the trouble at the prison and ended up Lori having to have the C-section done, ended up dying and everything else that happened there with Rick and the others. Even getting to see him from that first-person perspective, us not knowing it was him, that was pretty scary the way they did that in Season 3. I'd like to see something creative done with the Whisperers. Either you do like a, someone wearing the skin when we first encounter them, and you have them kind of come in as the group not being sure, maybe the group thinking something is off with some of the walkers that are around them, hearing the whispers, hearing something like that, and kind of not being sure. Just a really great introduction that's based in horror, and maybe if the whispers are going to kill somebody right away, then it has to be a very brutal and dark kind of maybe butcher knife or something type of death for them. And they have to show it. You have to make the audience scared too in order to get us really invested back in that survival horror, type of storytelling that The Walking Dead does so well, which is really, I feel like, been lost in the last couple of seasons for sure. So yeah, the horror has to come back, and the whispers have to be used in a way that terrifies the audience as well as the survivors in order for them to work the way they should on screen versus the comics, because that's how you feel when you read the comics, and it could be done even better on screen, I feel like. So that's another one for me. So number 4, speaking from a positive, kind of happy perspective, I want to see Rick and Michonne get married and maybe have a wedding. Maybe you do a season premiere that's really different from what the audience is used to. You kind of do something where things are really happy, things are great, things are looking better than ever. You have Rick and Michonne, they get married, they do a wedding, they all get together. We have maybe one of the happiest moments in the entire Walking Dead series, and then they come out after and someone gets stabbed a whole bunch of times and they see a head on a spike or something. Like something like that. And then Rick is like, what the shit? Just loses his mind, that type of thing. So again, you show, and I really like this idea where you show kind of that bright side of how everything has been built up and how everything's been going through the time skip. You have a celebration with the wedding or something like this, and then you tear it all down. Yeah, that'd be sweet. So that's I would love to see that. I think that would work out really good. We have Heath and Sherry. So Heath and Sherry still missing in action. I do feel like we need to see them next season. If they don't show them in the first half of season 9, at the latest the second half, I don't want another Morales 2.0, 3.0 situation here. If you're not going to bring them back in the next year in season 9, forget about it, scratch it, and us just assume they're dead and never bring them back again. There's like a right, it's best if they're going to bring them back, we got to see them pretty soon. They said they were going to bring them back this season, and I would like to see what's happened to them and their journey, in the first half of season 9. And if not the first half, second half, okay. But after that, if not, then it's like, well, okay, just don't bring them back after that, because it's kind of weird sometimes. If you like when the way they brought Morales back, I loved it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, it just was so long, I feel like a lot of casual viewers, it just went over their head. They forgot totally who that was. So that was still sick, though, right? For hardcore fans, definitely. Number 6 is going to be Negan. Love to see Negan. Want to still see Negan in the series, even though it's not going to be in the same type of, role as he was in before as our forefront villain. I feel like he could still be really funny to have around and really fun to have kind of in the background there somewhere. And I would love to see a flashback episode. I don't know where they could fit it in. I don't know where it would place and make the most sense. Maybe that time has already passed. Maybe it should have been done in season 8. I don't know, but it could have really, if they'd have done it there, it could have broken up the flow of the war. So, I still hope to see it at some point. Holding out for a Negan flashback episode in season 9 or standalone somewhere. I really want to see that. Number 7, happiness for our survivors. So I kind of touched on this one earlier with the Rick and Michonne wedding thing, but some happy scenes for them. And I think that that's going to be necessary around the premiere time before you bring in the Whispers to have some really happy moments for everybody and just everybody doing well for a change. It is The Walking Dead and people are dying all the time and they're always struggling to survive. But maybe a time, at least for a little bit, where they thrive and we get to see them either be a montage or something like that, where it kind of catches us up with a lot of the happy times they've had during this time skip, or we come back at a time where things are really good and then very quickly things get really, really bad. Number 8 is going to be Henry connecting with the audience. So as I'm looking through the volumes here that are most likely going to be adapted this year, Whispers and Screams, Volume 23, which I'm using as a channel tag for now, for this season. We got Carl here. Here he is on the back here as well, too. this is going to be weird. Them switching for Henry, it's going to be weird. It's what it is. You can't go back, Bob. So it's going to have to go forward in how they do it. But Henry's got to connect better with the audience this season. I like Henry personally, I really do. But all I see all day in the comments is people complaining about Henry. It's like, what's going on? Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's his fault or what they've given him or anything, or people annoyed that they killed off Carl and kind of switched him out for this Henry character. But I want to see Henry connect well with the audience. I want people to like Henry, maybe sympathize with him even more, and just kind of maybe adopt him as kind of that Carl 2.0 that it seems like they're setting him up for. So I think he's got to connect better with the audience, and he should be a forefront character this season if they stick pretty closely to the trade volumes here, which they often do. Ezekiel and Carol relationships. So speaking of relationship stuff, we went over the Rick and Michonne stuff and the happiness stuff, but a relationship with Carol, probably with Ezekiel. I don't think they're ever going to do her and Daryl. I don't think it fits right after a few years of kind of thinking it over and seeing where the characters are going. But a Carol and Ezekiel relationship could be really good, and I think that would be, you could add to the happiness there to kind of show them together and being happy, and some happiness for Carol, and her being a super badass and everything, and Ezekiel kind of being probably a good fit for her because he's not overbearing. He's a leader, but he's not a leader in kind of an alpha type of way. He's more of like a leader through charisma and a leader through love, right? And that's somebody that fits well with, I think, a very dominant female, which would be Carol, and that she's so, not that she's controlling or that she's dominant just that she's so hardcore when she goes into kill mode, and he's kind of, not soft, but I think you guys get what I'm saying here, that they just really, I think, would complement each other well, and, I think that I've enjoyed what they've done with them so far, and I would like to see maybe a relationship between the two of them. I think that'd be really good. Then we have the helicopter. So I want to see an explanation for the helicopter with Jadis. Is it in the Junkyard Group? I hope they don't drop that storyline and we do actually see something concrete with that in the first half here. Is it the Commonwealth? Is it some other kind of group? I want to see something done with the helicopter. I don't want them to leave it too long. I hope they'll start to kind of answer questions with that either in the first half of Season 9 or, at some point in the second half here as they're kind of bringing in the Whisperers. So for now, that's my list. That's 10 things I want to see in The Walking Dead Season 9. You guys can certainly add any others below. And remember, this is totally subjective. You could say, I want to see Daryl be killed finally or something like that if that's what you want to see. Just be honest and poke through what you want to see from The Walking Dead Season 9, how you want it to be different or how you want it to be the same in some ways. And that'll be it for my list for now, guys, in today's video. I'll see you back again tomorrow for another, as per usual. If you like this one, though, please don't forget to thumb it up below. Thank you guys for all the support through Season 8, and now starting to get prepped and get ready, going toward Season 9. Starting that long trek, that long walk, that Morgan-esque long journey, right, that we saw here towards The Walking Dead Season 9 in October. That's it for this one, guys. I'll see you again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.